Give it to me, baby.
And all the girls say I'm pretty fly.
For a white guy.
I was trying to think of something like a rhyme for it in place of it, an ad-lib, but I couldn't come up with anything fast enough.
So many things rhyme with white guy, but
I know,
I'm not coming up with anything.
not anything worth it. Like, I can come up with a bunch of shit, but none of them are good.
For a slight pie? I don't know. That's really all I got right now.
For the right fries.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's up, man?
What up, bruh?
Hey.
What up, bruh?
So happy 420, man.
Happy 420.
Have you smoked any weed yet
Yeah,
today?
dude, I took a couple dabs this morning.
did?
Yeah, I took 2 dabs and then played some Apex Legends.
How'd that go?
Dude, crushed it. Played 3 games, lost the first game, but then won the second 2 games.
I heard that game, like there's some controversy about it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's a free-to-play battle royale game, so it's like Fortnite or PlayerUnknown Battleground, where like in this case 60 people drop into a huge map, but they're teams of 3, so 20 teams of 3. In most battle royales it's 100 people, and a lot of them it's just free for all, 100 people, and just one person wins.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 25 teams of 4, but this one is a little smaller map and teams of 3. But it was made by Respawn, who made Titanfall and Titanfall 2, which are both really like well received and like cult classic multiplayer shooters.
Yeah.
And they publish for EA, which is very well hated by consumers in the industry, in the video game industry. Everyone hates EA because they try to monetize just like every fucking cent they can out of everything. But
they're like Disney of the gaming world.
Yeah, pretty much. Respawn,
I don't know if that's a real connection.
It's 100%. They are. Well, and I think they have stake in Disney because they own the rights to the Star Wars, the LucasArts video games.
Oh.
And Respawn is actually making a Star Wars game for EA. EA is publishing while Respawn is developing the actual software,
I feel like Star Wars games could be super legit.
Dude, there are some classic Star Wars games, and Respawn is a good developer, and Apex is a really good game, but it just needs more support. It needs more people working on, because I don't think they ever realized they had like 50 million unique players in the first 2 weeks of the game being out, which is like they were shattering records of like how many players they had. They lost a huge portion of their player base really fast because they all went back to playing like Fortnite or Call of Duty or PlayerUnknown Battleground.
Fortnite?
I could not do Fortnite, dude.
Why not?
It's too mechanically intensive, man. I'm too old. I'm 30 years old, and you have to be mainlining Adderall to your fucking dick veins to be able to keep up with these 13-year-old kids. I mean, I've never done it, but that's what the kids are doing nowadays. They're so fast.
I've heard of people putting like cocaine in their pee hole.
Oh God, I don't put anything in my pee hole, dude. No, I don't put shit in my
But
pee
I
hole.
honestly like.
I mean,
like
would it work? Maybe.
A guy I worked with who went to the same strip club every day. Like we worked the night shift. He was actually a pretty cool guy, but we worked the night shift.
He's putting cocaine in his dick hole. This dude is as cool as they get. Like,
cool guy. Hello.
If peeing your pants is cool, if putting cocaine in your dick hole is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
Consider me Rick James. But he was like so we would work at night, and during the day, like, so we'd start work at like 11 p.m. and he'd be at this strip club. He's like a regular at this strip club. He'd be there till 11 p.m. every day, and then come to work after like drinking and doing coke.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I just get free drinks there because all the strippers know me and the bartenders know me, and I just get free drinks and I hang out and just talk to the strippers and I get fucked up, and then I come to work. And I'm like, dude, you are living the life.
Where does it? So that's the guy that put the cocaine in his dick hole?
Yeah, he was like, he had one long pinky nail, and I was like, you're definitely a cokehead if you got that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I put it in my pee hole sometimes.
With his pinky nail?
Yeah, he
must have the hugest...
He spreads his pee hole open, and he gets cocaine with his pinky nail out of the bag, like a big snow shovel's worth. And just like slides it down into his pee hole.
This dude's got the biggest pee hole or the smallest pinky.
Well, his pinky wasn't small, so I'm assuming his pee hole was gaping.
Holy shit. Just a pee hose.
he stands up afterwards and just like Coke sprinkles out.
Yeah, when he pees, it sounds like you just opening a sandwich bag full of water just into the toilet.
He's just a floppy sausage powdered sugar.
So yeah, that's why I can't play Fortnite, is because all the 13-year-olds are stuffing Coke in their pee holes.
That explains it.
And they run around, and you not only do you have to shoot your guns, but you can build walls and houses and floors in that game really fast at the same time. So like if someone starts shooting at you, you need to be able to fucking build an entire 3-story fucking house around yourself to start fighting them first.
But
otherwise
how fast
lose.
Can you build?
Like unbelievably fast.
Oh, okay.
Like you should watch some of the videos of how dude, they're building 80-story towers with fucking battlements and roofs on them and doors in them in like fucking
this sounds
12
pretty
seconds.
fucking cool.
Yeah, but I'm just not fast enough. I get dicked down every fucking time. People are so
that would
fast.
just spike my anxiety. Like I'd be too anxious to really have fun doing it. Like I would just.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Apex does the same shit. Gets me my heart racing, my adrenaline going. Like I'm stressed out when I'm trying to win those games. But it's more of a classic, straight up like shooter. You have a couple abilities you can use, but they're not as impactful as like positioning and building like a structure is in Fortnite. So it's more about just like running and gunning. But I'm better at those games because I played them when I was younger. Than there's the mechanics. There's not as many in them.
It's just like Apex 2. Heart attacks are real.
Yeah, like sometimes when we win, we're just like, okay, I'm gonna take a break after this game. I've like actually,
you're sweating.
I've got some tension in my chest. I need to go have a breather outside. Daniel's like, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. I'm like, please don't do that, dude. Like,
you're gonna have a heart
attack. I'm
attack.
so worried about you, man. Don't smoke cigarettes. So bad for you,
dude. And so I was actually over at my cousin Greg's house. Him and his brother Alex, they have a VR system at home.
Really?
And it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Like the one at Wonderland's cool because you got the gun, but the one that they have is you have two like sort of spherical controllers.
PlayStation? Is it the PlayStation one?
It was just PC.
Oh, okay.
And when you have the goggles on, you look down and the handles you're holding on to read your hand movement. So you can move your hands, look down at your hands and move them. And shit. It like records it in real time. Like, like you can thumbs up or flip people off or whatever. And I was playing this game where it's like deep into the future, and it's like what's that Will Smith movie with the robots when they turn bad?
Oh, iRobot.
It's like playing iRobot. Like it starts out you're on the sidewalk in the future watching this TV on a building outside, and it's broadcast throughout the city, and you're standing there and you look to your left, you look to your right, and it's just all AI bots standing next to you, like holding grocery bags and like shopping bags and stuff, like getting stuff for people.
Yeah.
And we're all standing there watching the TV, and it's like all the AI bots are being recalled due to faulty blah, blah, blah. And they're all like going to be shut down. And then all of a sudden, all of them just go and power down. But then they come back alive like super quick, and they like start chasing you. And it's just the whole thing is just you running around the city with robots attacking you, and you're just shooting the fuck out of them. Yeah. It's really cool.
Damn, that's tight.
And there are so many other games. There's like Western ones where you're like a gunslinger, and like medieval ones. Like, dude, it's fucking crazy.
Huh.
And that would be perfect for Star Wars.
Oh my God.
VR with a lightsaber, dude.
That'd be
Come
so
on.
nuts. Oh my God.
And I was playing it, and I was like, dude, I could literally do this for the entire day.
Yeah,
I could do this all day.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's headed towards.
Eventually,
when are they going to... Well, how much did that cost them?
I don't know. I mean...
I want a VR fucking thing at home. I know PlayStation has, like, PlayStation VR, but I want, like, the full shit, dude. I want the full experience.
Like the rotating floor?
Yeah, and I want the gun... And I want haptic feedback suit. Like, I want a vest on that's got, like, fucking magnets in it that, like, when the game reads like that buzz. I got hit, they, like, buzz and I feel it.
Or it, like, thumps your chest a little bit.
Right. Or,
like, that'd be awesome.
Wherever you get hit, or, like, you have cuffs on your arm and you get hit and you feel it, like, squeeze your arm.
Yeah,
like,
and you put little, like, suction cups on your face so you can feel if you're getting hit in the face.
Yeah, dude.
Like, it doesn't really hurt to where you're like, I can't do this anymore. But, like, you just feel it.
Right.
You just feel like little...
Right. You get feedback to just make it feel that much more real.
Get a penis and balls apparatus.
Oh my god, and just bend over and just get railed by my VR machine every day?
Well,
Oh, that's not where
you'd have to get sensors up inside your butthole
Oh.
in order to you'd have to stuff sensors in your butt. The all new VR butthole sensors.
Yeah, at that point, just put the dildo in your ass. You don't need a VR dick.
I guarantee you there will be a VR system soon that comes with a dildo.
Yeah.
And it just pounds you. Pounds the daylights out of you. Brought to you by EA.
Yeah, EA Daylights.
So, anyways, it's 420 today, and we did St. Patrick's Day one. So, in the theme of celebration days.
Yeah.
And good stuff. I got some weed facts.
Sweet.
So I'm going to read some weed facts. And then after that, I got Easter facts.
These are good holidays to go together. Too bad they didn't land on the same day.
I was going to say.
I
bet for a lot of people, they just meld them together.
Yeah.
You know, like the modern millennial Christians that also smoke pot. There's like Jesus toked up. I bet. I'm sure he did.
Did he?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't. I mean, if it was around there.
I heard the frankincense and myrrh was weed, basically.
Really?
Like they would spark weed like they do incense and just like hotbox a room and not like smoke it directly.
Gotcha. I always wondered what happened with those dudes. That they were like kings, weren't they? The guys that brought the frankincense and the myrrh to Jesus.
Weren't they?
They were kings
wise men
from like across the land, and they traveled all the way to like give this baby some presents.
To give this baby weed.
And then they fucked off for 30 years, and like no one ever heard. They were just like, you're on your own now, Jesus, King of the world.
I mean, they were too wise.
Here's a bunch of frankincense and myrrh. We'll talk to you when you're 33.
Yeah.
Like no one ever heard from Jesus again until he was 33.
We'll be back when you're 33. That's just a random time, and it's no significance.
You're going to realize you're someone special, and then you're going to get crucified. But for now, here's some plans. We'll see you later. You're on your own till then. Maybe like build a chair or some tables or something.
Dude, think about...
You're going to have to make your own money. You're going to need a regular job.
Yeah, what did he do?
King of the earth,
carpenter.
King of the earth, son of God, virgin-born child that we walked 40 miles across the desert to bring you frankincense and myrrh. You're going to have to get a job someday. So
even the king has to get a job.
Yeah, you got to work, man.
I mean, imagine if Jesus, and like the whole time until he was 33, was just on unemployment.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much he should have been.
The Roman government's just like, come on, dude.
He should have been.
It's bad enough that you're a fucking Jew. You got to Jew us out of our taxes.
God. Oh, Jesus. I am interested to know like what his life was like though, like before, because he was born.
It is interesting that there's nothing really written about it.
He was born. They brought him some presents. John the Baptist baptized him, and then from then on till he's 33 years old, we know that he was a carpenter, and that's it. Like he built some shit. Maybe I guess he was a carpenter. That's what they say.
Well, we do know that he hung around with some questionable people.
Yeah,
and so I'm sure
lepers and
some things happened that people
that's
didn't really
that's
want
the stuff
to be
I'm
written
interested
down.
to learn to hear about though. If they ever found a manuscript from Peter or Paul or one of those
Peter
guys
Parker
that helped write the Bible.
Jesus Christ was buddies with Spider-Man. Jesus is just like, I don't know, man. I'm just jealous of you sometimes, Spider-Man.
He's just like, Spider-Man's like, but can't you just give yourself my
Spider-Man's like
powers?
trying to be all like humble. He's just like, come on, Jesus, you're a cool guy.
Right?
Like
He's
all
like,
I do is stick to stuff.
He's
and
like, make us some more wine, man. Come on.
Spider-Man actually had a huge drinking
Yeah,
problem.
let's have a good time, Jesus. Just a little more wine.
Jesus instigated it.
He's like, you got
all
any
the
more
time.
bread?
You got any more bread? I gotta soak up some of this wine, dude. Okay. So you might be surprised to know that in North Korea,
I'm not going to be surprised.
weed is legal.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You're
So
not
is
surprised by that?
methamphetamine. They give them
It is?
methamphetamine at work.
Well, that's just fun.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you just need to be able to work and not be hungry.
But
so.
you would think, oh yeah, it suppresses their appetite
yeah,
because
and
they
don't
got
have
no fucking food.
None. But they have to work still.
They all eat like those plastic showroom fruits.
Right. and like the silica packets that like keep the beef jerky from going bad.
You give them a real apple one time
Like-
and they just cry.
Like the silica
just
packet that
sob.
says like "do not eat." They're
Yeah.
just eating those.
Oh my god.
And
I
they're
don't know. I
dying.
was shocked to realize that it was legal in North
Really?
Korea, because you would think like anything mind altering would be
Yeah. I think-
illegal because they don't want your consciousness to be anything other than what they want it to
Right.
be. Right? I mean,
But I
don't know.
guess maybe they just have enough self-awareness to realize like if we're gonna if our people are gonna have such horrible, terrible lives, like they need
they need
as much
something.
escapism as we can provide them.
just to keep them in line maybe
Right,
a little bit,
yeah.
so they don't act out.
So what do they smoke a lot of weed in Korea? I wonder
Well,
how.
they,
I wonder if their
apparently
weed's
they
any
don't
good.
they don't consider it a drug.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they consider a drug.
Right.
Then.
What do they do? Well, do they eat like?
I mean, a lot of people don't consider weed a drug.
Like I don't
In
consider
some ways,
like
but-
turmeric a drug, but I don't like eat turmeric.
Well, a lot of people don't consider caffeine a drug, or
Right.
even alcohol a drug.
Right.
People don't associate alcohol with a drug,
Yeah.
even though it really is a drug. But
So I
Bodhi,
wonder if they're
be
smoking
nice.
smoking weed a lot or not. I wonder if they grow good weed in Korea. What's their climate like?
Bodhi is my Australian Shepherd, just in case you hear me either abuse him or yell at him, or you
Yeah.
hear him squeak. But yeah, that's my dog. So yeah, that was crazy to learn, I guess. In Indonesia, if you get caught with weed, the penalty is 5 to 15 years in prison.
That's your choices. Like minimum 5.
Just like, what do you want, 5 or 15? Some people are just like, fuck it, 15.
Fuck it. They're like, oh, you want more? Yeah, I don't fucking care.
Giving me more.
Here's another 5. You want 15 more?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's 25.
Yeah, now you're in jail
Good.
for
Love it.
45. I mean, 50. Carry the 50 years.
Yep. If you're bad at math, you'll just spend
Yeah,
your life in prison.
Hey, am I supposed to be out yet? No. You're terrible at math. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. Maybe figure it out.
Yeah.
Do the
Count 'em up.
equation.
How many days has it been? I can't remember.
Weed has been legal in Alaska since 1975.
Legal in Alaska?
Legal. Yeah.
Well, fuck yeah.
I mean,
they can't grow it,
that's okay,
and
I
no one's
guess.
driving it up there, so they probably don't fucking have
dude,
any anyway.
and honestly, how much does it suck to live in Alaska?
yeah, enough that you can smoke some weed and no one should bother you about it.
I mean, when it's either daytime or nighttime all the time,
Yeah.
I
mean,
wouldn't want to be sober either.
I feel like almost anywhere where the conditions are that harsh, where you have like, if you're, I don't really know what the major cities like Anchorage and Juneau or whatever are like in Alaska. If you have to like, if
Okay.
you're fucking living in that harsh of an environment, you should pretty much only be allowed to get in trouble for like violent crimes.
Yeah.
Or like crimes against other, like if you're hurting someone else, like if you're smoking weed, if you're fucking snorting coke, if you're doing
Well, if you're doing it by yourself and you're not affecting other people,
if you're
and you're not hurting
shooting
other
guns
people,
out off in the fucking
and you're an
woods,
adult,
like, dude,
you should be allowed to do whatever the fuck you want.
yeah,
I mean,
you're living Alaska, like you need anything.
surrounded by water, you're not going anywhere.
There's bears every fucking where you
You
look.
can see Russia.
It's fucking yeah, like Russia's a stone's throw away. You
People
should,
just stare at Russia across the water and just smoke weed and just trip out.
it's a lawless wasteland.
Everyone's just like, he's right over there.
Yeah,
Just sitting over there.
it's just with their dash cams,
With their dash cams.
vodka.
Vodka. George Washington grew cannabis, a.k.a. he smoked weed.
Okay. I
But
think I know.
that's
I mean,
not even
I've
surprising.
heard that one a bunch. I've heard that before.
Because weed wasn't a deal at all until like modern
Yeah.
society. Like nobody gave a fuck about weed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they were making ropes and shit out of it more than they were smoking it.
I
Think
saw,
of how bad the weed was that George Washington
oh
grew.
god, just the trash.
It probably was just weeds. It was just dandelions and fucking.
There's like, George, you're smoking just weeds.
those are
from
actually
the garden.
those are just weed. Nah, this is my weed. No, that's not marijuana, George.
He's like, what do you mean? That's the same thing, right?
He's like, no, those are blackberries. That's bushes.
California was the first state to ban weed a century ago, which is sort of ironic.
Fucking bastards.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, boo, weed, and then they're like, everybody smokes weed in here.
Well, but only we're allowed to.
1949, in 1949, the U.S. military created a synthetic cannabis called dimethyl heptylpyrin.
That just sounds really dangerous.
And apparently, if you use this synthetic cannabis, the effects lasted easily up to 3 days.
3
solid days of being just jacked up.
Wow.
But that's so in line with like the military.
Yeah.
There's like,
They're
we're
like-
gonna take something perfectly fine and make it way too strong and fuck you up.
And we're gonna call it dimethyl murder pentylene.
We're gonna name it something you cannot pronounce.
Yeah, and it's gonna fuck you up for 3 straight days.
God.
Why?
That'd be uncomfortable.
Dude, even like doing acid or mushrooms and being high for like 6 to 8 hours always feels like an eternity.
I was just gonna say,
dude.
yeah,
it's like, please let this stop. Like, I'm so done with this now. 4 hours and
gets exhausting.
You're just like waiting for it to end after a few hours.
Dude, I remember. Did you come with us that one night when we did acid and we went to that metal strip club?
No, I was not there for that.
So myself, Sophie, Alex, and I can't remember who else. Maybe it was just the 3 of us. But we dropped acid. And Alex was like, dude, we got to go to this strip club. I love this strip club. And it's just like a hardcore metal strip club. And we walk in there and it's just everybody there is like extras from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, it's like a Slipknot concert.
And all the strippers are just like tatted from head to toe and
Yeah.
just like super loud metal music. And I'm tripping on acid.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I hope no one sees me. Like, I hope no one can see me right now that I'm here.
Like, what a terrible environment to want to go to. What on earth?
It was just
Why?
like a perfect example of like especially people that do super mind altering drugs where like, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to experience uncomfortable things to grow in life. I mean, I don't think I grew from that experience, but it was definitely uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
But
it's like, let's drop some acid and go to the spider farm. You guys want to go down to the spider farm?
And they're also blaring metal music there.
It's just black lights and metal music and spiders everywhere.
And all the spiders are crawling on the walls, just glowing from the black lights.
Yeah, uncaged spiders.
Oh my God.
And they're just like, oh, next door we got the snake museum. You want to head next door? It's like,
and the snakes run the museum. There are no people there.
Oh, they don't like metal.
The snakes actually listen to jazz.
Yeah.
Experimental jazz.
No, they listen to flute. They listen to fucking Hindu flute music.
They listen to flutes. Yeah. There's like, I don't know, man. This just like gets into me.
I really feel it.
I can't help but move when I hear this flute.
Slither into this shit.
Slithering the shit out of this. I've been practicing. Colorado dispensaries outnumber Starbucks 3-1.
I mean, isn't it in Oregon we have more dispensaries than we have McDonald's or Starbucks?
See, I didn't know that, but honestly, it sounds correct because even just driving out into Gresham, like just downtown, there are more dispensaries than there are Starbucks.
Yeah, there's 3 dispensaries within 3 miles, and there's only 1 McDonald's.
Huh. I wonder how that happened.
We also here in Oregon, or maybe it's Portland, one of the two, have more churches like per capita than almost anywhere else too. We have
the most churches.
A shit ton of churches.
We have more churches than any other state.
Yeah.
But we also have the lowest church attendance.
Oh my God.
Which is hilarious.
That is really funny.
We have the most strip clubs.
So everybody that's not going to church, we know where they're at.
Yeah.
They're at the dispensary
They're
and then they're going to the
weed
strip club.
At the metal strip clubs.
Yeah.
Talking about Jesus. They're like, we don't have to be at church to praise the Lord.
Right.
I mean, we can do it anywhere.
They don't let us put coke
it's
in our
Christian
dicks
metal.
at church.
This is what it is.
You got a lot of weed facts. I like this.
I only have one more.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so 1,500 pounds in 15 minutes of cannabis is what it would take for you to come close to dying from weed.
Yeah,
so
an impossibility.
1,500 pounds in 15 minutes.
It's not. I don't think it's possible to fill your lungs with enough smoke to smoke that much in that amount of time.
Completely impossible.
No matter how like you are trying to ingest it, like maybe though the way they have it with like concentrates now, that you have like a gram of THC dabs, which is like 90% pure THC. If you, I don't know, they don't usually. It's not that much, but maybe say you've just got the hookup on the best shit. You've got 50 grams of pure, like 80% pure THC oil.
Yeah.
And you have a big, huge fucking electric nail that you can fucking take a dab off of, and you drop 50 grams or a pound of.
But you couldn't even handle that.
Like
you couldn't
like
even breathe all that in.
right.
It's too harsh.
Yeah.
Dude, I take the babiest of baby dabs, and I cough for 30 minutes.
Right. You should see people, though, dude, on YouTube. People gram dabs, full gram, like smoking the full gram in one dab type
What the
shit.
fuck,
Like,
man?
Like,
that's when you gotta be like, maybe I should take a break.
Dude, and you're not getting any higher. If you smoke a third of that gram, and then or if you smoke the whole gram, like, you're not getting much higher than.
You're just sort of maintaining a low level high at that point.
But it's just.
That's
the only
so
way.
expensive.
I feel like that's the only way that we're ever gonna get close to.
You're just smoking money.
We're just trying to find a way to overdose on weed. Is what we're trying to do at this point.
I mean, there are pioneers out
We're
there.
like, if we distill this weed down to oil that is now 90% THC,
this must kill me.
Yeah, if I'm somehow able to ingest a pound of this at one time, it'll kill me.
Well, probably the only way to get a lethal dose would be to get it liquefied into a super high concentrate and like mainline it.
Right. And I mean, at that point too, like 1,500 pounds or whatever in 15 minutes, like, what is it that's actually killing you? Is it the THC, or is it just like, well, if you smoke this much smoke this fast, like, your lungs will collapse.
You'll just suffocate.
Like, your lungs will
You're
just
essentially just like in a burning building. You're standing in the middle of a burning library.
Yeah, if you breathe only weed smoke for 15 minutes, you'll probably die from it.
I mean, just purely the smoke.
All right, yeah, no oxygen for 15 minutes,
but
yeah.
you have to be trying to commit suicide
Right.
because that's not going to be enjoyable.
No.
You get high to enjoy it. You don't get high to like.
It's close enough to impossible that we can just call it impossible.
It's impossible to die from marijuana.
They tried to kill a lot of monkeys by getting them super baked. And apparently the only way they did it was just to stuff 1,500 pounds of it into one of them's ass, and it took them 15 minutes to
And they didn't even die from any of the chemicals in the weed. They died from just anal carriage.
Just ripping the monkey in half by trying to stuff 1,500
There's
pounds
like the
of
monkey's just split in half from the anus up to its neck.
And there's
like, well, look at that. It's dead.
They just wrap it around the weed. And
Clearly, you can see this monkey is dead.
This amount of weed clearly killed this monkey.
It's like, write it down.
Why would weed do this?
Put it on Wikipedia.
Wikipedia
Without
forever.
the picture, though, of the anus
I'm
torn
taking
in half
that.
monkey.
I'm taking that home.
I'm taking that one
That's
home.
going in the spank bank.
Will you sign this?
Yeah.
You know, I went to Carl's Jr. to buy the CBD burger that they're advertising for $4.20. Did you know about that?
No.
Bodie, you're squeaking, bud. We're in the middle of something.
They have a CBD burger? Please.
And it's exclusively like for today.
Yeah.
And I went there to get it so we could try it on the episode. And I went there and they just have a fucking U-Haul truck parked diagonally in front of the drive-through way, like the entrance.
Yeah.
To block it. And I was like, okay. Obviously, everyone who works here are potheads, and they just parked a U-Haul there so no one can come through. And they're all off work smoking weed right now.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Like, they're just like, you know what? Carl's Jr. is just not going to be open today.
Yeah.
It's a special
It's
day.
420 today.
Yeah. Even though they're selling a burger specifically for today.
That's really fucking weird, dude. I never...
Just a U-Haul truck. A random, just parked. I've never seen that before.
Well, were they open on the inside?
I looked inside, and it didn't look like they were.
Weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's
so
a
shout out to
holiday.
Carl's Jr., man.
Shout out for recognizing
shout
a
out to
national
Carl's
holiday.
Jr. Shout out to U-Haul. So I got some Easter facts. Tomorrow's Easter.
Oh shit! Yeah,
What's
Easter.
up with Easter? What do you know about Easter?
I don't know a lot about Easter. I know it's the solstice, isn't it?
It's the celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Cristo.
Right.
Of course.
But how did it really start?
So here we go. Easter is actually from the Germanic word Eostre. Eostre.
That was good pronunciation. Yeah.
I guess that's maybe how you say it. Is Germanic. It's the name of their fertility goddess.
Oh, okay.
And they celebrate the fertility goddess on the spring equinox. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I knew. I knew it
so
wasn't
many of our holidays are derived from pagan.
Yeah, it's pagan
rituals.
Yeah.
And people, I feel like, don't know that.
We reappropriated them.
Yeah, we just like rebranded it.
Mm-hmm.
We got to give more credit to the pagans. They came up with a lot of stuff.
They were doing shit before we ever were.
They thought outside the box.
They
you know,
did.
they like, we got a lot of gods.
They were like, there's other shapes other than boxes. We should think of those.
Yeah, there's triangles and
circles,
hectagons.
and they're gods too.
And abstract shapes.
Yeah.
Fuck, there's a lot of shapes. I did so good in first grade when it came to shapes.
Yeah.
I was like, I know that shape.
Dude,
I know that
I
shape.
knew almost all the shapes.
I couldn't name any of them, but I could draw them.
Right. Yeah.
She was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but I can draw it."
Look how many sides it's got, and you tell me, bitch.
Yeah,
count
you
them up.
fucking tell me. I know you know what it is.
Yeah.
Don't ask me what it is.
Yeah, count them up.
I'm
Tell
in
me.
first grade. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't give a fuck about what it's called. So yeah, it came from the Germanic fertility god, and the egg. The reason why we do eggs is because the egg is symbolic for fertility.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
Eostre is the fertility goddess.
Right.
Also, another reason why we do eggs is because in medieval times, the celebration of Easter was right after Lent, which it still is. So you do 40 days of Lent, you give something up.
Yeah.
So in medieval times, what people gave up during Lent was usually either meat, milk, or eggs. But the most popular thing to give up during medieval times were eggs, because eggs take the longest time to spoil.
Yeah.
So by the end of Lent, everyone had given up eggs, so there was a surplus of eggs.
Yeah.
And so during the celebration, they would all just consume a bunch of eggs.
Yeah. They're like, I missed eggs
And
so
then they
much.
all just had the most rancid farts.
Yeah, for real.
For the next 6 months.
And some of them eggs were not good still.
Oh, yeah.
Like
They were
40
probably
days is
green.
pushing it for an
Yeah.
egg. Like, that's so interesting that like all these like Easter and its roots in paganism, and it's like the eggs and like the roots in the fertility and stuff.
And its roots in paganism, and it's like the eggs and like the roots in the fertility and stuff.
But then people are just like, we're celebrating Jesus and we're celebrating the resurrection of Jesus, but then they still do like an Easter egg hunt. It's like that part of it doesn't have anything to do with Jesus.
Well, yeah,
So,
and it's like if you do,
why are you holding on to the weird pagan ritual of like the
Yeah.
egg thing still? Like,
Yeah.
why is that still part of
well,
it?
people don't know why we do anything.
And the bunny
we just
too.
do it.
The bunnies represents fertility too, because bunnies just fuck a lot. It's
You
just
know,
like,
I couldn't actually find anything about the rabbit.
is that like an American thing or
I
something?
think so.
Like,
I'm not totally sure. I couldn't
Huh.
really find anything on the rabbit.
it's just
That's
a
weird
marketing
thing.
scheme by Energizer
get-
to
yeah.
sell batteries.
Yeah.
It's like, buy your batteries on Easter.
You're gonna need those batteries for the Easter egg hunt. They're just still
They're
deep
just
into the
like-
night. They're just
yeah.
like, Jerry, you've been looking for eggs for 16
He's
hours.
like, I gave them up for 40 days.
I know, and like,
I want more eggs.
what the fuck is that? Like, you give up eggs for 40 days, and
that's
then
like-
you're expected to go and look for them? Like,
Yeah.
some son of a bitch goes and
Yeah.
hides all the
Yeah.
eggs.
It's like,
after
why didn't
40
you just keep them all in the fucking cupboard?
She's like, Todd, just tell me where the fucking eggs are, dude.
Yeah.
I'm starving.
He's like-
I'm literally starving.
He's like, I hid them. He's like, all of them?
I'll never tell.
40 days worth of
Yeah.
eggs? Yeah.
What the fuck?
Or,
man?
I mean, I guess they just didn't go and pick them. The chickens laid them. The free range chickens.
they just walked around and pooped them out.
free range chickens
Yeah.
just lay, because our
Hey, maybe
chickens,
that's why.
chickens in our backyard, we have to go hunt around to find where they'll lay the eggs just in a random bush or like under an
wow.
awning somewhere and be like, oh shit, look, and you'll find a clutch of like 4 or 5 eggs over.
Dude, you should
somewhere.
name one of your chickens Eostre,
Eostre.
the fertility egg laying goddess.
Well, Casey's got 3 new ones in the garage, so
Oh, really?
I'll have to put that forth as one of their names. I don't think he's named them yet.
That's fun. Here we go with another fact.
Easter facts.
Oh, okay. So, the Catholic Church has a long-standing tradition that resembles hot potato. Y'all know hot potato.
Yeah.
You pass it around and whatever. I have no fucking idea why people do that. But the priests toss eggs to the choir boys.
Oh yeah, this is going real well. So
It
far.
already sounds bad.
Yeah,
They
dude.
the priests just like step in front of their choir boys and pull out an egg out of their buttholes and toss it to a choir boy, and then they end up just like hot potatoing it around amongst themselves, and when the clock strikes midnight, whoever has the egg last wins, I guess.
Oh no.
Or maybe loses.
Yeah,
because
depending on-
I'm
assuming no one wants to hold the egg that the priest just tossed them. If they all, it's like the bride throwing out the bouquet.
Yeah.
And like whatever bridesmaid catches the bouquet gets to get married next.
Sodomized.
The priest throws the eggs to the choir boy, and whichever choir boy ends up with the egg gets to go have special time with the priest. So they're all like, I don't fucking want it. He's like, I don't fucking want it either.
My ass is still sore. I don't want it.
It's just like,
God.
I'm too old this
Because,
Easter.
to be honest, I'm sure I gotta say that's probably what happened. Like they made it like a predatorial game,
Like why?
like entertainment.
The priest tossed the eggs to the choir boys, and the choir boys tossed the eggs around.
And then when the clock strikes midnight, whoever has the egg wins, I guess.
Yeah. And they get to have,
and they don't have any information about what happens after that.
They get to have a special one-on-one meeting with the bishop, the archdiocese.
And if you drop the egg and it cracks on the floor, you don't want that.
Yeah.
Trust me, you don't want that to happen.
Right. the bishop gets really upset at whoever dropped the egg.
Anyways.
Yikes. That shit is nuts.
So when you're playing hot potato, that's what's going on.
Yeah, you don't want to be the last one with it.
Americans consume enough Easter jelly beans to circle the earth 3 times.
That's a lot of jelly beans.
And starving children are watching the jelly beans circle around the earth 3 times, just going, oh.
Yeah.
Are those jelly beans?
They're like, is that sugar and processed corn syrup that actually has no nutritional value? But you're using corn
that makes you feel good.
That once did have nutritional value to fucking make enough jelly beans to circle the earth.
They are actually just laying down jelly beans one by one to circle the earth. And there are just armed guards just with machine guns.
We're doing an experiment here for Americans.
Get the fuck back!
This is for America.
So yeah, that's a lot of jelly beans, I guess.
I like jelly beans. I could personally eat enough jelly beans to go across Oregon. Probably.
You think so?
Not on just one day, but over the course of like a year for sure.
You eat that many jelly beans?
I could eat that many jelly beans.
Could.
If presented.
Dude, your stomach would hurt.
If presented with that many jelly beans, I'd do it. Dude, I ate an entire box of fruit snacks in like 2 days. There was like 40 packages of fruit snacks in there.
The other day, I ate a bag of fruit snacks that was like the size of like, I don't know, like 4 wallets.
That's huge.
And I ate the whole thing.
4 wallets?
I ate the whole thing in one sitting.
What a hilarious thing to like compare the
That's what it was,
though. Like if you was like a wallet next, like 2 wallets next to each other and then 2 wallets on top of those wallets.
Yeah, that's how I pictured it. Because I was like, I finished it and I looked at it and I was like, damn, I just ate that whole bag.
I just ate
how
4
big is this
wallets
bag?
worth of jelly. And
It's
you
about
laid
the
your
size of
wallet
4
on
wallets.
it.
Yeah. That's like
a,
exactly how
like
big
a
it was,
satchel
too.
worth of jelly. Dude, holy shit. That's a lot of fruit snacks. Sounds wonderful, though.
I mean, I didn't feel so good afterwards. But they were so good.
My shit
fruit snacks are really good.
My shit would be Nickelodeon's Gap. Like, it would not be coming out. I'd have to scoop it out like a fucking tractor. Oh, man.
What if they realized...
Amanda, please.
What if they realized that those like Nickelodeon awards where they dump the goo on people's heads, they're just like, that's actually just dyed diarrhea.
It's just straight glum.
That was collected over the entire year.
Yeah.
From every actor on Nickelodeon.
They're like, oh, it fucking stinks so bad. Why does it stink so bad?
And the Catholic Church is involved.
Well, that's diarrhea.
Oh, half the U.S. states banned the dyeing of chicks for, Easter, where they dye little chickens.
Yeah. Good.
And Florida took it further and was like, nah, I'm going to ban the dyeing of all animals.
Cool.
So if you're in Florida, you can't dye your animal.
Yeah. Well, good. What the fuck are we dyeing animals for?
But, I mean, that's cool for Florida. Like, good job, guys. But you guys have bigger problems to think about.
Yeah, right. That's
like,
true.
way bigger problems.
You can't dye your animal, but you can give your animal bath salts.
You can cook a deer in the middle of the freeway.
You can own your pet could be a crocodile, but you cannot dye it.
Don't dye it.
Don't dye its scales.
What are you doing with those those food dyes.
Yeah,
man.
what are you doing with that paint? You about to paint that crock?
Yeah.
Better not paint that
You
crock.
better not paint that crock.
Don't you paint that crock.
Put that paintbrush down now.
He wants to be a gator. He wants to be a gator. I just want to paint him.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm sure alligators, are they alligators or crocodiles in Florida?
I'm going to go with both.
Okay.
I'm going to go with C, both. All of the
You know, I
above.
think it's alligators, but there
I
definitely
think
could
you're
be
right. I think you're
crocodiles
right.
there.
I think
I mean,
you're right.
But how many of them do you think are tired of just being the same color green?
Most. Maybe that's why.
I mean, you've seen one
that's why
alligator,
they're so
you've seen them all.
ornery.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could use a good diet. They need a day to like treat themselves,
Right.
where they get a makeover.
Just a
and
full bright
the
white
Florida
gator.
reality show, Alligator Makeover.
Yeah.
They just fucking do up a bunch of
Croc
alligators.
eye for the gator guy.
Oh my god, croc eye for the gator guy. Wow, that. I mean, if we do this podcast for 100 years, that will be the best moment
worth
ever.
It was all worth it in the end. On my deathbed, I'm gonna
for the
fucking
gator
whisper it to Jennifer. I'm gonna,
Dude, if you die before me and I speak at your funeral,
yeah.
I'll just be like, I'll raise my hand and just be like, croc eye for the gator guy.
Yeah.
Remember.
and then you'll freeze frame and fucking "Don't You Forget About Me" will play, and you'll have to freeze for the whole song.
I feel like we got to make some sort of sketch now for that. We got to
Croc eye
find
for
a
the
crocodile.
gator.
And
We need to find a gator that needs some
we need to find a
fashion help.
gay gator.
That needs some fashion help, and we need to find a very suave crocodile that can help this gator out.
Is that maybe a term for a specific type of gay guy? A gator?
A gator?
If
He's
it's not, it should be.
a really aggressive gay guy.
Like a guy who's smooth from head to toe and is really aggressive.
Or like is known to bite down if you accidentally like push too far back when he's giving you a head.
Yeah.
And you like touch him in the back of the throat and he gets all, and he just snaps his mouth shut like a gator.
And when it snaps shut, he starts spinning.
Yeah. He starts death rolling on your cock. Holy shit. New band name Death Roll for Cock.
Oh my god.
Dude, the mental image of that, of just a dude giving someone head and then just snapping and death rolling on their
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Dude, this is
Oh my god, dude. Oh no.
this is some legit material.
I
we got right
cannot
now.
get this image of a death roll on the dick out of my head. That was one of the best mental gifts I have ever created for myself. And it's just on replay, dude. And I just keep putting different people on the dick.
And the thing is, like, they probably start out giving you just like the most super duper head you've ever
Oh,
gotten in your
man.
life, and then when you least expect it, death roll.
All of a sudden, the tip of your dick hits the back of their throat, and it's just
Yep.
clamped down death roll.
And they got 2 sets of eyelids.
You better be rolling. You better roll with them because that dick's coming off.
Yeah, you got to practice your cartwheels before you get head from a gator. Quick
God,
reflexes
that
on
is
them
funny.
cartwheels.
You still got more Easter facts over there?
No,
or
these
what?
aren't Easter facts,
okay.
but I just thought, like, hey, you know, in the spirit of Easter, even though I couldn't find anything about the rabbit thing, I was like, you know,
Okay.
what if we just, like, talk about some facts that, like, scientists have recently done that are really fucked up to animals?
Okay. Fair enough.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that really ties together, but I got them anyways. So this is all super recent. This is all on my news feed that I saved this week.
Okay.
Scientists have partially revived. They figured out how to partially revive pig brains after death.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
And the weird thing is, I read into it, and they were like, I was like, why partially? And they even said, they were like, they made sure to specifically not revive them fully.
yeah.
Like, don't give them consciousness.
Well, I thought they weren't able to simulate. Like they were able to like revive the brain enough
To where it's animated.
to
but
where it's like not even really.
it's like a brain in a coma, pretty much.
yeah.
But they
But,
said
like-
specifically, they're like, they made sure to not revive it completely. And I was like, what's
What?
that mean?
Why?
Yeah, I was like,
Seems
because
like-
that's unethical or something. Like, you already reviving dead pig brains. Might
Yeah,
as well
like,
go all the way with it.
You're for sure like the goal is to give it consciousness again. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
what's the goal of your experiment if you're not if not that? We're trying to
don't
revive this
know.
brain, but we're being really sure not to revive it to consciousness. We just want to revive it enough that it can fire off fucking motor functions.
I don't know. I don't know
weird.
what that's about.
That's weird.
So they restore capability of functionality, like semi-level functionality, for at least 10 hours after death. So pretty long while after the pig is dead, they can revive it. So they're saying, like, this is causing controversy about, like, well, how are we even going to... Are we going to have to rephrase, like, the meaning of death after we go further with this? Or, like, when is death confirmed and when is death final? Like, if you can reanimate a brain...
Right.
Then what are we going to do with that technology with people?
But they don't know how to like reanimate it to the point where there's electrical activity that's associated with consciousness. Like they don't. I mean, I don't know that they don't know for sure not how to do that. Like them specifically wording it that they made sure not to revive it to consciousness is really weird. But I don't think they know how to do that. Like
maybe they're just saying like, oh, like we could do that,
right?
But we didn't. We just decided not to.
No,
but we totally could.
I think that's what they're trying to learn how to do.
They hook up the brain to a machine they call Brain X.
Well, that's
pretty cool name.
It's not very inspired, is it?
Yeah. Brain expired machine. You got expired brain? Come on down.
Yeah, we'll
to Florida, and we'll hook it up to the Brain X expired machine.
You'll end up with a gator brain.
Another one. This is in China, and you already know when I say China, we're about to get into something crazy.
Yeah, like what the Chinese are doing these days. They're doing some crazy shit.
So, Chinese scientists are in the beginning stages, and this beginning phase has been 100% successful, but it's just at its infancy. But they are putting specific human genes into the brains of monkeys. And it's actually changing their brain chemistry.
Damn, that's kind of nutty.
So it's making apparently it's making their reaction time quicker.
Okay.
So they're going to teach them Kung Fu, obviously.
For sure.
And they'll be real quick. And
strong.
God damn it. And their memory is getting better. So whatever monkeys they put these genetics into, they're vastly superior mentally to their other monkey.
I saw that movie, dude.
I know. I'm like, dude, we are like self-propagating our own destruction. Like Hollywood has shown us, like, hey, AI is a slippery slope. We've all seen Terminator,
right?
And putting human genetics into monkeys is a slippery slope because how many Planet of the Apes movies have we seen?
We've all seen Charlton Heston and the Damn Dirty Ape.
And it's like I almost feel like if we hadn't have made those movies, we might not have gotten inspired to do this stuff.
Right. We're like, oh, that could be possible?
Yeah.
Let's fuck around until we figure out how to actually do it.
Like, I just imagine scientist bros just hanging out, watching movies, getting high in Florida.
Right.
Just like, oh, that's kind of cool.
They just watch Short Circuit, and they're just like, let's make a fucking robot. Now you got fucking Boston Dynamics building robots that are running upstairs. And they're like, okay. This is not Johnny 5, this is Johnny 9, and he's about to fucking take your bitch. Like
Johnny 9000.
Dude, Johnny 9, take your bitch.
I just saw a short video of Boston Dynamics. You know, like the Boston Dynamics robots that sort of look like dogs? Mm-hmm. They're on four legs. The most
terrifying animatronic dog you can imagine.
Yeah. So simple, but so terrifying.
Yeah.
But it's like a group of those, like pulling a semi-truck.
See, I always talk about like America in terms of like the fall of Rome and like how the wealth inequality is going to lead one day to violence in our country, and like there may be like a civil war or an uprising of the lower class against the fucking rich and wealthy.
Yeah.
We won't be fighting human beings. We'll be fighting those fucking robots. It's going to be an army of fucking Boston Dynamic dogs with machine guns mounted to their heads.
Yeah.
And we're not going to stand a fucking chance.
You know what is sort of fucked up? And I sort of just thought of this, but I kind of feel like there will be some conflict on whatever degree or level it is, how many people involved, but it'll be like a scrimmage war. It's like a war perpetuated by governments to test out their robots.
Yeah.
Like how lethal and how precise are they and how good
Right.
are they?
Just
It'll
getting
be like
into
a conflict
just
started.
getting into little conflicts around the
Yeah,
world.
like let's see how they do.
Yeah.
Like let's test them out on a
Right.
real conflict.
Hey Yemen, how you guys feeling?
We forgot you were there.
Yeah. You want to see how these robots fare against your citizens?
Good God.
Like, because we're thinking about aiming our sights on China, but they're too big, so we need to know how these work first.
Robot gators.
Oh my God, death rolling on all the
Good
cocks.
God. 0 cocks left.
It ripped right off your body.
Getting rickrolled by a gator robot.
It'd be nothing but a body walking around with no cock.
Apparently the gene that they're using is called MCPH1, which means nothing to me, but that's what it's called.
McPhee.
Other scientists are saying that this is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Like, we better mind our P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Let's not, like, dive into this too quick.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
let's do this step by step and maybe take our time with it.
Yeah. Let's try not to make the monkeys too fast and smart. Too fast.
You don't have to be that smart to be deadly.
Right.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
it's
Especially if you're 3 times
dude,
as strong
just
as
a
human.
little smarter is
Yeah.
all it would take.
I mean, they already know how to throw rocks.
Yeah.
Make them twice as smart, and they're shooting guns at us.
Yep.
Fuck.
We deserve
Anyways.
it, to be honest. I hope they do. Take
Oh,
over.
hey, would you accept $18,522 to be asleep for 2 months while being monitored by space scientists for space, data? Would you do that?
I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't think 18,000's not. I mean, it's pretty good.
Pretty close to 19,000.
It's pretty good, but
So think about
which
it
is
now.
pretty close to 20,000.
Yeah.
You're right. Fuck. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. I might, maybe.
You know what?
Would I be asleep
I
the
think
whole
I would
time?
do
Would
it.
I be asleep the whole time?
Yeah, you're asleep.
kind of
They're-
worried about that.
And the
to be
reason why they're
honest.
doing it is because they're trying to figure out a way to combat the decaying or the atrophying of your body when you're in space.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna wake up in 2 months and have to go through 4 months of physical therapy.
and you'll spend all your money on physical therapy.
Yeah, dude.
So maybe, I don't know.
We'll give you enough money to pay for the physical therapy.
If they gave me all that money tax free and then they paid for my physical therapy, I think I would do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just 2 months.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if I would. It's just not quite enough money. 50,000, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, 50,000 I'd do it.
But you could possibly make 50,000 off that 19,000 if
That's
you
true.
use it
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But
It
that's
just
a
seems
gamble.
like a long 2 months is a lot of my life, and then to have to to actually go through the physical therapy and it's gonna be a while before I feel normal again.
But think
and-
about it like this: think about the last 2 months, the recent last 2 months of your
Yeah.
life. Anything super
Right.
significant or memorable?
I know it's some pretty good laughs. That's about it.
Yeah. You might have some real good laughs after you have $19,000.
Right.
Feel pretty good. You might be in a wheelchair for a while, but
Yeah. I
don't
might
know.
not wake up at all.
He spent $19,000 on a wheelchair after
Yeah.
he woke up,
It's a VR wheelchair.
but it is fucking sick.
Yeah.
So
It was built by monkeys.
good on. It was built by Chinese
This
monkeys.
is the best wheelchair we've ever seen.
It's a Boston
Have
Dynamics
scientists
wheelchair.
gone too far? This is a slippery slope, Pretty soon the
Boston
wheelchairs.
Dynamics wheelchair
Yeah.
made by Chinese monkeys.
Science has definitely gone too far.
It's all connected.
Fucking Illuminati.
So that is the gist of my facts that I have. So I'm now factless.
That's the docket for the day. Huh?
Oh,
Oh.
I forgot. So there's some situations going on with bees
Yeah, poor bees, man.
on a world scale and on a personal scale.
Yeah. Random thing about bees, I heard that the bees on the roof of the Notre Dame Cathedral where the fire was, the bees survived. There was a colony of
What?
bees, they kept bees on the roof.
Like they stayed on the roof as it was burning?
Yeah, they survived. Like the colony survived. Like it didn't get burned up in the fire.
Are beehives... But people light beehives on fire.
I mean, bees are extremely sensitive to temperature too. Like they can't...
So how did that happen?
I don't really know, honestly. They must have been in an area that wasn't as affected by the fire.
It's a miracle.
It is. God... No, I was about to say God loved the bees and he wanted to save them, but if that were true...
They're dying off.
If that were true, they wouldn't have declined by like 90% in population in the last decade.
Whoa. Conspiracy?
God? What the shit are you talking about? It's me, Mari.
Did you hear about this lady in China? 29-year-old lady in China had no idea why her eye was so swollen and the pain was so unbearable. She went to the hospital.
Oh, God. Was there a fucking parasite in there?
She went to the hospital and under a microscope was seen tiny legs of bees moving around inside her eye socket. And in the end, the doctor pulled out 4 bees out of her eye socket. And according to the internet, this has never happened to anyone before.
Was she asleep for 2 months?
Maybe.
Like, how do you end up with even one bee in your eyeball?
I don't know. Apparently, they're really small.
Dude,
I guess.
If there's a bee within a foot of my head, it's like buzzing in my whole skull.
I feel like if I had a bee in my eye and I don't remember it getting in there, but if it was in there, I feel like I would be like, I feel like there's a bee in my eye.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I mean?
For sure, I'd know there was something.
I feel like there's some form of insect living in my eye.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like.
Judging by the zzz in my head all the time. I'm pretty sure there's at least...
I wonder if she got stung.
I'm pretty sure there's at least 4 bees in my eye socket.
Dude, who can say they've been stung by 4 bees inside their eye socket?
Did she have both of her eyes?
Only one of her eyes had the bees.
That's what I'm like. I'm picturing this as like she didn't have her... Like she had just a hole where her eye was supposed to be. And the bees set up shop in there.
No, she had both eyes.
How did they get behind her eyeball?
And also, I'm sorry, but she's Chinese. There isn't a whole lot of room for the bees to squeak in there.
Yeah, let alone 4 of them.
I mean, if you were a guaylo, there'd be a lot more room for the bees to get in there.
Just make more sense.
I don't know. It doesn't add up.
Something's not
doesn't add up.
This bitch was injecting bees into her eye.
I mean, she got on the news.
Fuck.
So, hooray for
that
her.
Like terrifies
They're called
me.
sweat bees.
Sweat bees?
Sweat bees.
Okay, so it's
they're
a special
feeding off
kind
the
of bee?
salt in her tear ducts. Is what they were doing.
Are these even? Why are they considered bees? Why is it a
They
kind
are
of bee?
bees. They
have stingers.
I'm not sure. I saw a picture, but I don't know if the picture was just like fabricated for the story or not. But anyways, that's fucked up.
Well, yeah, I don't
Super
like that.
fucked up.
I saw a story about some teenager that had like a bunch of tapeworms in his brain.
Oh yeah,
and it freaked me out. I was like,
died.
Yeah, like he started having seizures, and they like did an MRI or whatever, and they were like, you have like 40 tapeworms inside your brain. Like that is so horrible.
Imagine them like opening up his skull and just like pulling them out.
And there's worms and they're wrapping around the doctor's fingers all tight.
No.
There's almost nothing creepier to me than like tapeworms and parasites and shit like that.
So, also bee related, Pornhub is celebrating bees right now.
Okay.
And they're calling it bee-sexual. So, probably took them 1 second to think of that name. Save the world, save the bees. Let's not buzz around the bush. Ha ha ha. Bees are dying at an alarming rate across the planet due to pesticides, lack of biodiversity, and habitat destruction. For the past 10 years, beekeepers have been reporting annual hive losses of around 30% or more. Wow, that's a lot. That's a cause for serious concern because without these fuzzy little pollinators, nature simply can't get it on. God, they're just so... Bees are crucial for the sexual reproduction of flowering and fruit-bearing plants. You never think of plants being sexual.
Right.
You know?
But they pollinate.
They're sex addicts.
That's what their cum is. It's just pollen. That's why,
man.
Dude, we're allergic to plant cum. I'm sneezing right now because there's fucking plant cum all in my nose. Or maybe it's eggs. Maybe it's the other way around. I don't know.
Which means 70% of the foods we eat today are the direct result of bees banging plants, is what Pornhub says. That's why at Pornhub, we're making it our mission to ensure everyone is having great sex, even Mother Nature. How is Pornhub helping? We created Bisexual. That makes me think of Aladdin. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Bisexual. Pornhub's making a whole new genre of porn, especially dedicated to saving the bees.
Oh, yeah.
We turned short videos of foraging bees into what they really are, nature porn. But now featuring the voices of some of your favorite porn stars dubbed over the bees having sex. So, really original idea.
Yeah.
Good cause. I mean, hey, cool. Good job, Pornhub.
Good for them. I hope they raise some money for these bees.
Help bees get wet.
I hope the bees are getting paid. I hope the bees have a good contract and they're not being exploited by the porn industry.
I hope they know that they're being filmed.
Yeah.
Because that's an invasion of privacy.
I hope that their bee queen doesn't see this video and then think less of them.
Yeah, because if you're a foraging bee or whatever you call them, I'm sure the opinion of your queen means a lot to you.
Right, it's everything.
And if
you do not want to see, you don't not want her seeing.
And
videos
dude, it's
of
all
you.
over the internet,
dude.
Like, how can you go back into the hive?
Yeah.
Like, you just know everyone's looking at you. Like,
Yeah.
I saw you on the fucking porn.
And all the other bees are like, bzz, 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 bzz,
Yeah.
bzz, looking at you, and you're like, dude, come on, man. Yeah.
Just porn buzzing music,
humping towards the air at you with their little bee.
But
with
I'm
their
sure
little thorax.
I'm sure some of them are like, dude, really good stuff.
Dude, your stinger.
I came so hard.
Your stinger looked
I
so
broke
big.
off my stinger watching this.
I loved your video so much I broke my stinger.
Fuck the shit out of some flowers.
Yeah. Bro, those flowers were really hot. Where'd you find those flowers, bro?
China. All right, well, that's all I got for facts. That's actually all I got.
That's it,
I got no more stories or facts.
Bees. We did 420 and Easter and bees.
And genetic manipulation of animals.
Yeah.
And we created a new term for a specific gay person. And practice your cartwheels. If you see a gator, don't stick your penis in its mouth.
Of God, don't get a blowjob from an alligator.
Don't paint them if you're in Florida.
I forgot about that.
All right, well, thanks for listening to Listen to Your Friends. We'll fucking see you next time.
Later, boys.